Hello and welcome to another episode of Music and Mixing. I am DJ Michael Joseph, and if I'm correct, we are going live to a whole bunch of places tonight. I do have some live chat open. We are using some of our technology that does things, and I'm trying to make sure I see everybody's messages. I'm not quite seeing the ones because we are currently broadcasting to like about, I don't know, 6 or 7 different places. So I'm trying to figure everything out. This is new to me, this multi-broadcast thing. I know I can see the chat in the YouTube, but I'm having trouble seeing the chat for everything else. So John, that page you sent me, I know John's watching right now, it's not showing any of the YouTube messages on it. So let me know if I'm doing something wrong there. But otherwise, I'd like to welcome everybody. If you've never watched the show before, I usually start out at the beginning by talking to, looks like we froze already. There we go. Usually talking to the chat room, see who's all in there and saying hello to people. I do have a group of things that I'm going to talk about tonight, and then I'm going to take questions from everybody since it is open question night. So first off, Peter the Hubcap Dude, hello, man. It's good. It was good running into you again at the Expo, hanging out with you. Todd Esteep, same way, another Expo person there. John Young is in the chat, of course. So, all right, let me see what's showing up in the chat. It says, yes, I can see that, Michael I can't even, Ravusky. I hope I'm saying that right. Yes, I can see that. So I'm seeing that chat. That's coming from Facebook. So it's just not showing me the YouTube stuff. Okay, so John says it takes a couple minutes to propagate, and he did use that big word, propagate. So good for him. Howie's in the chat. What's going on, Howie? How are you? Again, we're trying some stuff out tonight. We are running through the OBS software. Last month we ran through the Zoom software. The reason we're trying this out is because if you ever watched the show before, sometimes I do it with the full turntable setup and everything with an overhead cam and stuff like that. So if we can get this working tonight with OBS, that means in the future we can do the shows with the full thing, multi-camera, whole 9 yards. So that's kind of why we're trying this. We do think we need to make some tweaks. We're learning some little things about this because, again, keep in mind, we're doing a broadcast that's coming from my studio out to a service, and then that service is kicking out to a whole bunch of different places like Facebook. I think it's on Chew.tv. It's on, I think, my Rewind Report Facebook page, the Deets Jockey News Facebook page, a whole bunch of stuff. So let's see who else is in here in the chat. Having a little trouble getting the chat to move about here. Get everybody in here. Howie's in there. But we're definitely, like I said, Jesse Sanchez, LA in the house. What's going on? It's coming from Facebook also. Hello. Yeah, so John's saying something. I'm going to have to switch back and forth to catch everybody's stuff between Facebook and the restream thing. So be patient tonight as things go on. Like I said, if you missed the very, very first beginning of the thing, what I'm going to do tonight is I'm going to, as we normally do, give shout-outs in the chat room, let everybody kind of populate in there, and then I have some stuff I want to talk about at the Expo, and at the end I will take all your questions, Expo-related, non-Expo-related, however you want to do this. It's entirely up to you guys. But I do have some cool stuff I'm going to talk about tonight, stuff that happened there at the Expo and whatnot. So hang in there. And Phil, what's going on, Phil from New York? Glad to have you in here, DJ Philly B. Love that. Love that. I'm checking 12 different chats at once. So this is like the new generation, because you got to understand, it's one of the things that I always thought was kind of interesting. In the history of doing what I do, I mean, I remember back doing some chats very early in the days, some live broadcasts, and they were really bad quality. And I think I have them out there on video or something somewhere. But it's funny how that, you know, there was one thing, one place. You had to have the exact address, or you had nothing. It was before YouTube doing all the stuff that YouTube was doing. and now we're broadcasting again from my little studio here, all over the world on different platforms. So I think that's kind of crazy, but we're still catching up to speed. It's not as easy as said, but we're trying to catch up to speed there. Dwight Sullivan watching on Facebook. What's going on? Thank you guys. So we've got Facebook and YouTube hitting me up with stuff here. Seeing what all else is going on. See who's in the chat. Who's wherever tonight. I got so many things open. I'm gonna have to close some stuff, I think. So I'm gonna close this. Try to save myself some stuff. I'm gonna close that. So we're down to a couple of screens I have to watch. So I see in the chat on the YouTube, at least, I'm seeing at least 3 people there that were at the Atlantic City DJ Expo, and that is our topic that we're going to talk about tonight. If you've just joined us, I'm going to be repetitive. I'm going to repeat myself, and I'm going to say the same things over and over for a little bit. And that is the fact that if you never watch the show, at the beginning of the top of the hour, I just kind of give everybody a shout out, let everybody populate. Then I cover some topics that I've written down that I want to talk about, and then we'll finish up with any kind of questions you guys have about anything. And we're going to try to keep everything kind of related to the expo if we can, and that could mean anything at the expo, which you're going to see when I talk. It's going to be all over the place, which that's just where it's going to be, because I kind of was all over the place there. DJ Tony T, what's going on Facebook? Thank you for tuning in on that. I think that's freaking awesome that we have all this stuff going on. See who else we have here. Just again, the technology is kind of crazy. Like I said, that to think of how far it's come, and that's one of the first things I want to talk about tonight: the technology of what we do. Because I did something very unique this year at the expo that I've never done the way I did it this year, and I think it worked out well. But we'll be talking about that in a second. So we're still saying hello to everyone there. If you've seen any of the cool pictures of me at the expo, chances are that Peter, the hubcap dude, took them. He took a whole bunch of great ones. I even got one of them where I was like mean mugging the camera. And one of my favorite DJs right now, I got to meet her a couple times, was the 2017 DMC champion, DJ Pearly. And she's kind of known for her mean mugging. And I made a little comment on there, on my picture when I posted it. I said, I think even DJ Pearly would agree with this. And she came back with, this gets the DJ Pearly mean mugging stamp of approval. So I felt kind of cool that she reached out and just gave me that picture, the stamp of approval from her. But that was kind of cool. She was not at the expo this year. She was at a special a creativity thing. I don't even know what it was called. It was kind of neat to follow and see what she was doing. They're collaborating with people from all different types of talents and artistry, and I thought that was kind of cool. So we're still kind of checking in the chat here, a couple more minutes. Let everybody populate in, see who's there. Checking both. If you are watching on Facebook, I should be able to see your chat come in. So if you have questions, save them to the end. That's when we're going to hit everything up. But if you want to do a shout out either on Facebook or on YouTube and tell me your name, where you're at, I'll give you a shout out, that sort of thing. But that's kind of what we're doing at the first party here. And then I'm going to hit some topics and ramble endlessly. But it should be pretty good. Keeping an eye on both the chat and the Facebook. I hope it's coming through. If I'm not loud enough, let me know. Please let me know if I need to turn the volume up. I do have the virtual setups if we have any questions about that. And I also have this set up that you will see videos later on of. We're not going to talk about that yet, but that is here in the studio. So we do get to see a lot of that. And I'm kind of, it's got to be interesting because I got, man, holy crap, that I get some comments about this when I posted a picture. So it was kind of neat, but we're definitely going to talk more about that. Faux show. Jimmy, what's going on from Iowa? I've been to Iowa many times. I've actually performed in Iowa many times, actually. Some parts of Iowa and South Dakota and all over there. So, yeah, hey, welcome. Couple more minutes, check and see who's here in either one of the chats. We're about 10 minutes in. That's good enough. All right, so I want to say hello to everyone, and thank you guys for tuning in. I kind of do that once a month. We used to do it every week. We may come back to doing it every week. I don't know. I just kind of wonder sometimes if I get a little, repetitive or boring. But it's hard to say. It kind of seems that the world of what we do is changing, and I'm going to talk about that here in a couple seconds. Again, last time I'm going to say this. If you just tuned in, hold off on the questions. I'm going to cover a couple things, and then I'm going to go into questions. You can ask questions about stuff I talked about or stuff I didn't even mention or anything. It's entirely up to you guys. But one of the things I did this year that was unique, and I wanted to see how it worked out, is that I have a Galaxy Note 8, and it's what I use. It's my phone. And I have shot video. Most of the video you see at the past couple, like the last year Expo, was shot off of this phone. And this year, I wanted to take it a step further because I know a lot of presenters that are doing stuff where they do the entire thing from their phone. So this year, if you watched any of my videos from the Expo, it was 100% shot, edited, and uploaded from the phone. And that's kind of where I think the technology of things is going to, is that the days of big computers, which if you've also followed my story, you saw in last month's episode of Music and Mixing, we talked about how much work I just put into my studio computer. But the fact that I did the whole Expo, filming, editing, uploading, everything directly from the phone, not another device was used the entire time. And I kind of think how that is, how that is a vision of what's changing, and comparing, like I said, again, to what we were talking about tonight, the technology that we have and being able to broadcast to all these different areas at the same time. I think it's pretty cool. I tried, and I'm going to continue to try, to stay up on all the comments in the YouTube area where I posted them. I tried to stay up on a bunch of them today. I can't keep up with them fast because there's, I don't know how many videos. I did 10 videos, I think. So I'm trying to catch any kind of comments you say on 10 of them. So if I miss something you comment on, be patient. I'll definitely get back to that. There are still 2 more videos yet to come. Keep that in mind. One is about this thing. I'm going to talk, even though I did a video on this when it came out at NAMM. I did a video at the Expo, a little quick overview. But I'm going to do another video with hands-on and kind of explain why I picked this one. And I do have other ones, so I'm not going from a blind thing. I own one of the original Newmark DJ to Go's. I've had the Newmark DJ to Go 2 here in the studio to test. I've had other Hercules in the studios. I've had other reloops in the studios. I've had all of the little ones. I mean, for those who know me, you know I do run the Denon MC7000 is my daily driver, but I'll explain a little bit about this later if you want, why I did it, but I'm definitely going to talk about why I picked this one up in the video that I'm going to be doing. That's one. And the other one, I didn't tell a lot of people, but I got blessed that someone let me borrow their Prime 4 prior to the Expo to prepare for my DJ set, because I DJ'd in the Denon DJ booth on the showroom floor for the Expo again, but we had to use the Prime 4, so I wanted to get a little bit of time on, and someone let me borrow it, so I'll be doing a video that will basically be talking about my week with the Prime 4, and it's going to be what I had here in the studio, what I used there live, and kind of what all went together into using the Prime 4, because it's such a unique controller, and I got definite hands-on, like dive in, kind of no instruction, dive in, handle it kind of stuff. So the other video is going to be on the Prime 4, my week with the Prime 4. For those, before you even type it in and ask, this is the Hercules DJ Control Starlight. So just so that you know that, but we'll be talking about that later. I do want to thank everyone for watching the videos, because I checked today, this afternoon, and counted up on just the videos that I did. And like I said, and these all were done from my phone, that I've got about 11,000 views over all the videos from the Expo last week. Just the short time from last week, this week, they're all done on the phone. So think about that I've reached, I've touched base 11,000 times. Just a nobody DJ, doing these videos and hanging out and talking online, and it just shows the power of social media and stuff nowadays, and a lot of people still doubt that. I know Rick Webb did a seminar in there about social media, and he was talking about that, just go get your freaking self an Instagram account. That's the number one thing you need to do. So if you don't have this stuff, go freaking get it. It's all a part of your business. You may say, oh, but it's not. But it is. I know guys who statistically have 40% of their connections, because remember, most of the stuff I do on the show is about the club or bar DJ, but I know guys that get about 40% of their connections with their brides from nothing but social media. Not their advertisements, not flyers, not bridal shows. Someone looking them up on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, and hitting them up, asking them about their wedding, what they do for weddings. So it's super freaking important. But like I said, for 11,000 views done all from a cell phone, you gotta think that's something. I also want to take a minute to thank Denon so freaking much for letting me spin in the booth again. To them, it might be a small gesture, but to me, it's huge. I feel so freaking honored to get to spin in that booth. The whole In family and all of the Denon, all the brands that are under In Music is, Denon, Newmark, Rain, Akai, and on and on and on. But all of the people who are under that make you feel so welcome, and I'm almost humbled because the people I'm talking with there are people who are who work for them day in and day out, help design the equipment, help sell the equipment, help market it, have hands-on, and they're right there at the expo for us to talk to, and they just would answer my just endless questions about stuff, and they were really cool about that. So I just definitely want to take some time and thank Denon for everything they've done, and hopefully we can continue to work in the future, and hopefully maybe my show can become so popular that maybe someday I can help influence your world from my world. But again, I just want to thank Denon for everything and their opportunities. I also want to do a special thanks to two other brands that it's just kind of, again, shows you what we're doing with the social media and the stuff that we're doing, how far things go, and you don't think they go that far, because this is going to lead me into one of my biggest points about the entire DJ Expo. But I got people from BPM Supreme came up to me, and people from Pioneer came up to me and said that they watch my videos. And I'm so blown away that people on that level are watching some dude sitting around talking to a camera in a room by himself. So I definitely want to thank BPM Supreme for reaching out and talking to me and watching my shows and enjoying it. I thoroughly, that meant a lot to me, and getting to talk to Pioneer and the guys, the head guys at Pioneer, and having them joke around with me and stuff. I got called a Denon fanboy by one of them, so I don't know whether to take that as an insult. I'll take it as a compliment. I think he kind of meant it as a poke, but a fun, good, awesome poke. And I just thank both of them, BPM Supreme and Pioneer, for just being cool about this business and talking and hanging out with me. And like I said, they didn't talk to me about like I'm a person that's getting them hits or views, because I don't feel that I'm that big of an influencer, but they still treated me like I was important and talked to me and told me that they watched my shows, and I thought that was that meant a lot to me. So if there's any other brands out there or companies that watch, I thank you for paying attention. You may not have told me, but if you're watching, whether you're a big company or just another DJ, it means a lot, and that takes me into my biggest point of the expo, and we can talk about this later if you want. I'm almost done with my part, and then I'll hit the questions. But I now have a completely different point of view about the expo than I used to, and my point of view is not going to be everyone's point of view. So please don't come and think, MJ picked this up at the expo, it's going to help me with my business or what I do. This probably won't, but it was the biggest thing that I took away from this. Because I know I do these videos, and I know I talk to quite a few of you online. I've talked to quite a few of you on the phone, chat through Facebook chat, through Instagram chat, through text, and I just kind of saw what I do for Disc Jockey News in these videos as being nothing more than me connecting with a few DJs, kind of like DJ friends. But I kind of felt through all the people that I met at the expo that would come up and talk to me, ask me to get a picture with them, chit-chat about the show or equipment, that I don't want to take away from my DJ friends, but I am now seeing that I actually have an audience, and I think an audience is different than a DJ friends, and I think it's going to change the way I kind of present some of my videos to where it's going to be more open, and not so much where I'm trying to be specific with, now let me think who is watching my video and I want to communicate with them. Kind of like when you're DJing and you look at your crowd, you read your crowd and you DJ to your crowd. The same way with this is that I'm seeing that I have an audience, where before I thought this was just a few people that check in and check my videos and that's about it. So I may be expanding what I'm doing, and I'm looking at me going to the expo each year not as in like, oh, should I go, shouldn't I go? It's that I kind of need to go, because it's a way for me to step away from the camera and actually get to talk with some of you and get ideas. And some of this, like I said, you've heard me say this before. A lot of the shows that I do, the ideas come from talking to you guys, and that definitely happened at the expo. Some of the stuff we're changing that I'm going to be talking about in the future. I'm definitely going to, for those of you who have watched some of my stuff, I started a series a while back about Inside the Billboard Top 40, and I've decided there wasn't a lot of hits on that, and I didn't really like the show because, in my mind, why would you watch a show about songs that are now in the top 40 when you could go look at a chart and see the songs marked new inside the top 40? But we didn't get a lot of hits on it, so we're kind of killing that show. But I'm going to do one that I keep getting a lot of requests for. So each week, I'm going to be doing virtual DJ little tips and tricks. The show's going to be called VDJ How To, and it's all one word. VDJ How To, all one word. But we're going to be doing that, and my first video will be coming next week, and it's got a cool little thing that I'm going to be doing. But we're definitely going to be doing a lot with virtual DJ. Those of you know I'm a big fanboy of that. I love it. I do own all the software. I do use all the software because with Disc Jockey News, I try to make my hands on and learn everything, including the Engine Prime system that I had to learn through Denon using that. So that takes you to a whole nother world. But my software choice is virtual and has been for many years. If you want to sit down, I could tell you why. I had a guy at one of the seminars that I sat in front of me. He's like, well, I just don't like virtual because of the way it looks. And my first thing was like, do you even know virtual? Because that's one of the cool things about virtual is that you can change it to absolutely anything you want. So that would be the last thing you would want to say is the way it looks, because it can be anything you want it to be. And that's why I chose. But we're going to be doing some shows about virtual. We have one coming up next month. I believe it's the end of September, like about the 23rd. Keep an eye on that. That's a special show. I'm not saying anything else. But we are going to be doing more of that. That's kind of where I'm going to be leaning towards tips and tricks of that. I might be doing some Serato stuff. I'm going to talk to some guys. Maybe try to get DJ Superfly to throw some videos in about Serato. We definitely want to hit everybody and make sure everybody gets in there. But I'm definitely stepping away from This Week in Billboard Top 40 and flipping over and still doing the Rewind Report and other stuff, when new equipment pops up. But I'm going to be doing some virtual DJ tip, quick little videos coming up soon. My observations about the Expo, and like I said, I'm almost done here. My observations about the Expo is that there was almost no equipment announced at the Expo. Everything was done prior to it. The only thing that was announced at the Expo was the Roland 707M, and I thought it was kind of interesting that Roland was not at the Expo, but Roland represented itself inside the BPM Supreme booth. And that was one of the things I noticed. There were other brands that kind of coexisted within things, both in the showroom and at some of the live events that were going on. FaZe was there, and FaZe tied in with Mixar. And there was a couple other companies that did that too. And I thought that was kind of interesting of how things are working together now, to where where before it was just us against the world, and now a lot of people are holding hands and working together because advertising and getting people's attention with social media going so bananas, it's kind of hard. And it was nice to see them working together on that. So we'll probably see more of that. That was an observation. Again, we can talk about this in the questions, but I'm just throwing this stuff out there first. The second was, if you saw my videos, I did a video on the Hercules Impulse 200 and 300, and they had something on those that I've never seen on any controller before. It was educationally based. So they had red and green lights next to the high and low pitch, above and below, and red and green lights around the platters on those two controllers. And what it did is it taught you that if your song was behind, to nudge this way. So if it was behind, you're going to nudge that way. If it's that way, if your pitch, you move it up or down. And it gets a new DJ that has no ear training, the muscle memory of your ear to hear where that song's at. Should I nudge it forward, nudge it backwards? It gives them an option. Now, many of you might say it's a cheating, but I think it's a good training option, because once you understand and be able to hear, oh, this song is behind, after hearing the song forward or backwards hundreds of times, you don't even have to look half the time. You just reach up and nudge the right or the left deck because it's so natural to you. And for a new DJ, they don't have that in their brain. And I thought those two controllers adding that, I thought were pretty incredible. So that was interesting. One of the other things that I want to go to is, if I can find it here, I have some pictures, so we can share some pictures if you like from the Expo and talk about that. I got to find the right one to show you here, because this was big this year. I'm scrolling through pictures. Did I have it in there? If I don't have it in here, I'm gonna flip. It should, all mine should be in one folder right now. But anyways, give me a second. I'll be over to the questions here in a minute. And apparently there it is. Okay, we'll switch that over. And I'm going to switch screens here and let you see the left screen. Nope, that's not what I want to show here. It's not going to let me show that. Let me see if it will let me do that. I'm not showing you Google. Let me see here. Window capture. Okay, there we go. That's what I want right there. So you guys can see that, right? Should be able to see that. Of course, it's not going to do that. But this was the real deal right here. The Expo is so freaking loud all the time, and this year they literally had sound police rolling around with sound meters checking on the booths, and I thought that was freaking amazing that they've done that. It's the first time I've seen it with sound meters, but they were there the whole time, nonstop, telling people to turn down. And they said, for what? No.
DJ Event Planner, ADJ, NLFX Professional, Promo Only, and DJNTV Insiders.
And we are back, and I do not know if there was any sound on that commercial because I didn't see any sound on my side. So let me look at some of the chat questions here. We're going to Facebook first. Tony Alpha's in there. What's going on, man? It was great seeing you at the Expo. He is one of the main guys at Jetpack. If you don't know what Jetpack is, that is the DJ backpacks. They have multiple ones that you can get customized. They were there. Pretty much anybody has one, and I thank him for hanging out and chatting with me because he was crazy busy there. So he took a couple minutes out and talked to me about some of the bags, and I appreciate that, and he's in the chat. So say hello to him. Brennan Vaughn is in the chat. Edwin Alvarez. So that was the one that the guy, Edwin, was the guy I spoke to about the virtual DJ. Like I said, it's nothing wrong with not liking it, but of all the reasons not to like it, that's not a good reason. Like you could say it doesn't work well if you feel that it doesn't work well, or you could say it's this or that. But like I said, of all things, yeah, that wasn't one. But he says he uses Rekordbox and everything, so that's good that you're trying all of them. And I think that's one of the most important things is to try them. Tone says that they do that at NAMM. At NAMM, from what I understand, let me tweak my mic there. At NAMM, they're really hardcore on the sound, but this is the first time I really saw them push it at the Expo, and it was nice to see that. Look here. All right, so we're going back to Facebook. So if you have any questions, throw them out there, and I will do that. Someone in the chat says, I've been a BPM Supreme member since 2015, and they dropped their DVD service. I hope they aren't taking out of the game. I'm not sure what you mean by DVD. If you don't, I hope you don't mean just video. I'm guessing you mean the actual physical DVD stuff that you get. Because I don't know anybody that uses that anymore, so that's why that they took that out, because I personally haven't picked up a CD or a DVD in almost a decade. So that's probably why, because the majority of the DJs don't want to go that route. It's probably why they dropped it. I don't know. You'd probably have to talk to them. So feel free to hit me up with any questions. I have more pictures from the Expo if you guys want to see those. A lot of good stuff. They're all on my Facebook page, so you can see them all there if you want. And I'm trying to catch all the chats that I can. Tone's asking about Hercules versus the DJ to go. I'm going to say watch my video because I've already talked to you about it. And like I said, there's a reason why. Because I said, if you go in the other room over there, I've got a couple more about the same size as this. And I'll tell you in the video next week or whenever I get it done, why I chose this one. And again, I made someone mad in the YouTube or one of the comments, like I said, because when I posted this, they just started getting comments. When I say that I would not recommend using this out anywhere at a gig, not saying that you can't, but what I meant by that is that if you're a DJ and I need a DJ to fill in somewhere, whether it's a private party, bar, or club, and I know you use this to go out and DJ with, I won't hire you to go out and DJ something, because to me, taking something this small out for a professional gig would be like showing up as a carpenter with toy hammers. And I'm not saying you can't DJ with this, because there are endless videos online of guys scratching up a storm, DJing like mad with it. I'm not saying you can't, but what I'm saying is that when I said on there about people giving you a weird look, that's what I meant. That some DJs would probably go, I'm not going to hire him. The same way as that I would never hire someone who would show up at a gig without any controller and DJ straight from a laptop. Same thing. So I'm not saying you can't. I'm not saying you can't make money. I'm not saying people don't make money and scratch and do everything with them. You can. You absolutely can. But that's what I meant by that comment, and I thought I kind of wanted to elaborate on that a little bit there. Yes. No. This is not the Tone. This is not the video. I'm actually going to do like a review video on it, and I'll talk about it in detail there and show examples of what it does compared to the other ones. I'll have them all hooked up at the same time. We had a question from Facebook that said, I heard that DJ Expo is more for club DJs. Do wedding DJs fit in? I would actually argue that it's the opposite of that. You hear a lot of people like me talk about the showroom floor, and it appears to be club DJ oriented. But if you looked at the seminars that they hold, I would say maybe 20% of the seminars were for something other than a mobile DJ. So the seminars could cover everything from getting, from like actual mobile DJ stuff, getting a bride to sign, or party games, or bar mitzvahs, or stuff that had to do with mobile gigging. And there's probably 20% that was not related to the wedding side. So it really is, especially in the educational side of it, it really is more to the mobile DJ. But the thing that I always talk about in a lot of my videos is the fact that most of the guys I know do both. So I think it's a good balance. I mean, I have friends that will go out and DJ a wedding in the afternoon and DJ a club at night. So it kind of fits. DJing is DJing. A DJ DJs. If you are a wedding DJ, absolutely go to the expo. There's the seminars, the networking, products. I mean, you see stuff in there about photo booths. There was several photo booths. Party games, trivia was DJ Trivia was there, was one of our sponsors, stuff like that. So it's definitely for all of that. Yeah, Ed was joking about virtual DJ, which I've had that. Ed was talking so for you those who aren't seeing the chat that's coming through Facebook right now, he's talking about people discriminating against people who use virtual DJ, and I have had people discriminate and not hire me because I use virtual DJ. Not my skills, not anything, just because I choose a certain program that they don't agree with. So there is that discrimination out there. That's the reality of it. But like I said, if you're a good DJ and you get hired using these, which I know guys who do, go make your freaking money. Screw what I have to say. Screw what anybody has to say. If you can make your paycheck, freaking go make your paycheck. Because, when it comes down to it, it's either you love what you're doing or you're making a paycheck, or a balance between both. So if you're making your paycheck, that's half of what, or more than half what most guys try to achieve. So go for that. Let me check Facebook for questions here. I'm sorry, for YouTube for questions here. I see some chat going on there about the BPM Supreme video stuff, which I do know that Club Killers just dropped their video stuff because they said it was not cost efficient for them to do the videos. They only do audio now. That could be part of it for that. It could be for legal reasons, for not when you physically distribute a physical a DVD with stuff on it, different copyright rules and different things like that. So that definitely could be that there. No, BPM did not stop video. They stopped the DVD, because I know they have video, because I get video from them every time I download. How do you see the DJ Expo evolving over the next 5 to 10 years? Now, I've talked to so many people about this, and everybody has a different opinion. I think the Expo is going to continue. I think it's probably going to change. It's probably going to get a little smaller, but it's also going to get bigger, because just like there were physical people there, everybody that walked in there was uploading videos and pictures from the Expo. So you are going to get a plethora of guys like me broadcasting live. So imagine, you have, I don't know a number, I'm just throwing a number out there. 2,000 people go to the Atlantic City DJ Expo, which I know it's more than that. So I'm just throwing a number out there. And let's say 1/4 of that, or let's just say 500 people, broadcast live. So that means that how many ever people those 500 who broadcast live can reach just made the expo get bigger. And you may say, well, it's not the same as going. No, it's not, but you can still get a lot out of it from not even going, from the people who bring the videos and the information and stuff like that. Because how many people, like I said, my little videos that I shot on my phone, 11,000 views on just YouTube alone on those videos. So I'm a nobody. I'm not a big influencer, and I affected that many people. So that's the way I think the expo is going to be tweaking, because that's just the way the world is. I mean, how many guys now used to see a DJ set of somebody, like I said, because I'm into the club and in the bar scene, how many DJs you would have to go out and see, and now you can just stand online. And like I said, I can watch Pearly, national champ, do a thing at her local neighborhood. I was watching her do one that way, and that takes stuff international. And I just think that's going to be the norm in the future, that to where as you hook up a controller and a laptop or an all-in-one unit or whatever it becomes in the future, you're going to be broadcasting out live to places in the future. You're going to be able to tune in to a DJ halfway around the world as if they were your best friend sending you a text. It's going to be that natural, I think, in the future. So it's going to be busy. You know, it's the same as for some of us who are old like me, grew up, we had just a couple of channels to watch on TV, and now you can watch 500 channels. You know, that's the way life is. So I don't think the expo is going anywhere at all. I think they did good this year. I think they did very good this year. I think they had a very good broad range of topics. The showroom was good. They had a lot of great parties, big and small, because we went to a Serato party one night that was quite small, was quite unique. It was really cool. But they were showing off some of the Serato equipment, and you got to go hands-on their Serato studio and stuff like that. So from the big parties and the big names, you know, like a Scribble and Friends party, down to something like that, or the one we did at the Irish pub for the Disc Jockey News Insiders, which also got broadcast all over the place. And we had some big name people stop by, but that's going to grow. So I'm hoping next year for the Insiders one, I'm throwing this out to all of you, the Insiders that watch, we need to move it somewhere else next year where it's bigger and lets more flow, because we were at the Irish pub, and if you've ever been to the Irish pub, we had the entire thing filled up. There was no more seats for anybody. So we've maxed it out. I don't know what we could make the party next year, how we could make it creative, but I definitely think we need to take it a different direction, because it was good. Oh, Jay's in there from Pioneer. What's going on? Thank you for stopping, and thank you for all the cool things you said. I really appreciate that. I'm looking at the questions here on the YouTube first. If a plumber showed up with a Leatherman tool, you might be worried. The same for us in the controllers, unless you are Jazzy Jeff. Now, that's true, because I have some friends who could show up with duct tape and zip ties and put a NASCAR back together after a wreck. So I'm not saying there isn't skill using the smaller ones. There absolutely is skill. Just go look at videos online. There's guys on there that are just tearing up scratch routines, juggle routines, everything on them. But like I said, it's just the idea of it, and it's changing, because I remember in 2005 when I would show up at a club with a controller, holy crap, the beat down I would get from people until I started doing what I do. A couple of friends that really looked out for me and would get me in places DJing with the controller and got it more accepted, and that was in 2005, 2006, and here we are in 2019, almost 2020, and it's just different. Things have to take time, but like I said, I got some looks back then. It was just unheard of, but I guess just because I had so many years experience in it, they knew that I could DJ by ear and have DJ'd on vinyl and have DJ'd on CDJs and have DJ'd on every other crapping thing out there. So John, that's not funny. Let me look here at questions here. Okay, down here. Talking about attendance being up at the expo, which is good. I'm not even going to talk about the scores. Bring the expo to Nassau Coliseum, Long Island. That was one of the things that people talked about, that how would it affect if they moved it outside of the casino-type atmosphere to just something else. And that was one of the things that when they moved it to the other place 2 years ago, Convention Center. I couldn't think of what it was called. Thank you. People complained. They're like, oh, but there's no gambling over there. We got to go all the way to the boardwalk to gamble. you're going to give or take. If I had my choices of them, I'd prefer to be at the boardwalk simply because there's more places to eat. Um, that's all. And I mean, we could go on for days about eating at the hotel. It was rough, but I liked it over there at the boardwalk. But the one thing that Aaron's brought that I thought was kind of interesting is that, and I said this last year too, is I feel that it really was conducive to running into people and having conversations. Like, you really, really, really got to network with lots of people that you probably would not cross paths with if we were at the boardwalk. Because at the boardwalk, people are just scattering. As you know, what they say, if you tear down the hotel, the rats will scatter. At the boardwalk, we just went everywhere. But at Harrods, there were several of us that just maybe didn't want to take a ride to the boardwalk or go somewhere else. So we kind of stayed around there. So you tend to do a lot more networking and connecting there. And I got to talk to so many people just by being there. And I think that in itself has value. So keep that in mind when we're talking about where to have them. The expo, does this type of expo ever come to Toronto? I'm not sure. I know that they have different things up there because they have smaller ones all over the United States. Disc Jockey News is doing one in February of 2020 at the co-connected with the Photo Booth Expo in Las Vegas. I will be there, and there'll be a lot of great presenters there doing stuff. I'm not sure how the list of people who will be presenting, but it's going to be tied in with that. It's going to be educational seminars, the photo booth stuff. There'll be DJing. I'll be talking about, showing the DJ stuff. I'm not sure all the details yet, and I think we're waiting until after Labor Day to release them. But keep that in mind. It's February 2020, which is like, 7 months away. DJNTV in coexistence with the Photo Booth Expo in Las Vegas will be doing something. Oh, yeah, Jay in there was saying, and I've said this before, Jay, exactly what you said. Jed said, I remember when people said, oh, he's using CDs. And I always make the joke about how things change and people, and using the Prime 4 this year and using a standalone, that people kind of go, well, I don't know if that's for me. But I remember, like Jay was saying, I remember when people said, no one will ever DJ using a CD. And then after people started using that, they'll go, no one will ever DJ using a laptop. And then after that, they said, no one will ever DJ using a controller. So for all you as people, I literally have a friend of mine, and I love this guy to death. I mean, he's a sweet friend of mine, but it was in about 2006, 2007, I had one of the DJ magazines, and it was one of the ones from the UK, and I think it was Paul Van Dyke, and it was an advertisement for him playing at a club somewhere, and in the artistry of there, I think they either had CDJs or controller in the artistry of this Paul Van Dyke at such and such a club, and he said, quote unquote, the first time I ever see one of those in a club will be the last time I DJ. And lo and behold, about 4 or 5, maybe more than 4 or 5 years later, 6 years later, he's DJing one of the biggest clubs in the city on a tractor controller. So never say never. Okay, just watch me never say never, and I'll end up doing a gig with this or something. Someone will catch me out. But yeah, so wait for it. I think there's more to come in the future besides even the standalone. I've given my opinion where with this next generation, their computer is their tablet. They don't even call it a tablet. It's my computer. So in my opinion, in the future, where I think things are going to go, instead of a standalone, instead of plugging a thumb drive in, you're going to have your tablet, whether it be your MacBook or whatever, Apple tablet or whatever. And instead of having doing into this ecosystem of this brand or this ecosystem of this brand, Serato, Virtual, whatever, is going to now have an app. And that app is going to look exactly like your Serato would if it was on your laptop, but you're coming up there with a tablet with your Serato program, wire coming out of there or wirelessly in the future into the unit, and then that becomes the MIDI mapping for whatever you're using, whatever controller, CDJs, Reigns, whatever, where that becomes a plug into there and ties into that to where you're loading songs, all your songs, because the tablets are going to get bigger and more powerful. So, but you're going to have your screen in front of you with the software you want to look at, not forcing someone else's software on you, stuff you want to look at. And I think that's where I think it's going to go, but I could be very wrong, or I could be right, but in another 20 years. Who knows? I'm going to try to catch some more questions here. I know I'm rambling here. I'm going to switch over real quick over to the Facebook and see if we have any questions there. Brendan, I'm not sure your question there about what do I use and how do I, for my advantage. Please expand on that question so I can answer that. Edwin asks, MJ, what would you like to see more of at the Expo. I feel, and few other DJs feel, tons of 101 seminars. Wish it be more catered a little more towards. Wish it. Oh, you feel there are I want to clarify that when I was reading it. He feels there's a lot of 101 seminars, and he wished they were more advanced. I'm not sure what each person calls advanced. That's a good thing you have to think about, because in my DJ 101 class that I teach, one is this is an XLR chord. This is an RCA chord. That's one, DJ 101. DJ 102 is song structure and drop it on the one. Because I feel you have to have all of that before you can do your first beat match. So you know where to drop it, not just to drop it, because the sync button doesn't do anything but align two beats together. That's it. And that's if the program has found the downbeats properly. So that's why I don't get all bent out of shape about sync buttons, because the sync button is not mixing. Beat matching is not mixing. It's just matching two beats. I know guys who can beat match all night long and suck at DJing. They can't control a crowd. They can't get them pumped. All they can do is beat match. So there's a difference there. So in my opinion, that's still 101. In your idea, what 101 is, basic stuff like that. Now, you're talking the more advanced classes, you may be talking more about the bigger weddings. Maybe that's what you're talking about, how to get the bigger gigs, the higher paying gigs, the corporate events, stuff like that. But there is stuff out there for the seminars for that. Not a lot, but there is. I would honestly encourage you to write some of the people at DJ Times and ask for, can we have, and be specific, more seminars about such and such. Or if you have a presenter that you've maybe seen a video they do, I don't know, different presenters all over the country, contact them and say, hey, why don't you take your idea of this? Because if you submit an idea to DJ Times to do at the Expo, they may go, yeah, let's do a seminar. So if there's a specific topic that you've seen someone do, contact that person who did the topic and say, hey, contact the Expo and try to get them next year to have you come and present, because I think they're open for any topics. I have a couple I would like to do, but my balance here is that I'm spinning in the Denon booth, I'm filming stuff for Disc Jockey News, I'm trying to network, and doing a seminar also might be a little bit too much for me. Plus, also, we don't make money on the seminars. We will not get paid to do a seminar. So unless I'm selling something, a book, a DVD, whatever, I'm not making any money by putting on the seminar. It may help my brand grow, possibly, I don't know. But in the sense of it, the people who are presenting are kind of bringing you stuff from a I love what I do and I want to share it point of view. So if you have any ideas, definitely hit presenters up, hit DJ Times up with ideas of those advanced classes that you would like to see, or beginners classes, or whichever you'd like to see. Let me look down here. Looking at questions for those of you who don't know. They're talking to John. So I'm happy that John's in the chat room. Of all the people I need to thank John for letting me be a part of Disc Jockey News, because, like I said, if it wasn't for Disc Jockey News, I've tried the video thing prior to Disc Jockey News with a total of like 6 views. So my 11,000 views is 100% generated by Disc Jockey News, not by me. So I'm thankful for them letting me be a part of stuff, and all the help that John and the whole Disc Jockey News crew, Dan and Shaney and everybody, Howie and Jimmy and everybody. I can't even end up naming all the names of the people that helped me out. So I'm thankful for that. So I'm going back here to, we still got about 10 minutes. I'm going back to the Facebook page here to see if I can get some more questions here. We are seeing some YouTube questions populated on the other side. But oh, Brandon, I get your question now. It's not really a question. He made a statement. He said it's not what you use, it's how you use it to your advantage. And that's true. That's true. There is games that are played in politics within the DJ world. So you are going to be shut down by other DJs who think that they are the keepers of the status quo. And in my opinion, they're not. And being someone who's older and not a small puny guy, I don't give a flying crap if someone wants to come at me and complain the equipment I use, the software I use. I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing, and you're going to watch me keep collecting a paycheck. So if you don't like me, be better than me. That's all I got to tell you. And that's kind of it may be an egotistical attitude, but it's just my way of steering clear of all the crap. I'm not going to argue with someone about something, but I'm just going to do what I do. And what I do, some people like, and what I do, some people don't like. and I don't fit into certain worlds, and I do fit into others, and I'm trying to expand. A good expansion is looking at Shani and the fact that she DJ'd on, I think, 5, we counted it up. It was like 4 different mixers, 3 or 4 different pieces of turntables over the whole week of the different brands that she spun for and places she spun. So that's a good example of someone who just kind of steps up, and a DJ that's a DJ because they're a DJ, not I'm stuck in this world, I can't do this or I can't do that. She uses everything to her advantage, and it shows by how many gigs she gets and her fan base and all that kind of stuff. Still going back to the questions in the YouTube section here. Someone wants to give Jay more mic time. Wow. Okay, I'll allow that. Yeah, Day and Night says he was unable to attend the expo. Thank you for bringing it to the living room. And we're going to continue. Like, I even had somebody who's like, wait, the expo was over 2 weeks ago. Why are you doing an expo show? Because I came back from the expo on Thursday and immediately started DJing, because I DJ constantly. You know, I'm out 3 or 4 times a week DJing, and I immediately start back to gigs, and started back to going over videos, and started back to my life and stuff I had to do, include work on my car and my motorcycle. And this is a joke I always make, that when people say, can you do this, or why didn't you do that, I'll say, I have a motorcycle and a life, and both require a lot of maintenance. And that's, anybody who knows me knows both of those statements are true. So it's me just getting around to kind of covering over the expo finally at the end. So I may be late behind, but like I said, I was pummeled the whole week. I was there Sunday to Thursday the whole time. First time I've ever been there the whole expo. And then came immediately back and started DJing. And some of the places I DJ here, I book other DJs, so I have to kind of work schedules together and put this DJ here and that sort of thing. And it just kind of got out of hand, so where I just kind of now feel that I'm getting back into my groove. What was that? Almost 2 weeks after it's over. So thankful that I'm able to at least do that. What were some of the absolute best details at the expo? I'm going to tell you 2, and one ticked me off. I'm just saying this. I'm just saying that it ticked me off. This was a good deal. They were doing good deals on the Newmark Scratch. They were doing good deals and sold out of the new Pioneer DDJ 1000 SRT. They sold out of those quickly. But Denon did a deal on the 7000, which is what I use. And I had just had mine in for repair, because I'm telling you, I DJ a lot. I abuse it. I put it to work and back, and have had it for over 2 years. And in the process of sending it in to get it repaired, I picked up a used one in incredible shape for $700. And then at the expo, they had an expo sale on freaking brand new 7000s for $700 at the expo. And I was like, just, you know, but there are deals like that. If you're able to drive in and willing to take stuff with you, you can get deals. You have to hunt a little bit. Some of them will do, like this one, they actually ran out at the expo. And they honored the price and free shipping. So I still paid the same as there, but I had to wait till I got back. It came Friday, I think. Whatever day I posted the picture is the day it came in. So there were lots of deals like that. I know the lighting companies were doing deals, all kinds of stuff like that. Any advice for DJs wanting to turn into DJ content creators? Here's my advice. Start simple, because you can do a lot with your phone. And I want to show you something. If I have it here at the desk. Yes, I do. This year, I told you I did the entire expo on my phone. Okay? I went down to the showroom floor early one day and wanted to get a video. Left my microphone, because I have a nice lapel. I have a dual set lapel, so if I'm talking to someone, I can do dual lapel microphones and stuff. Forgot it up in the room. But I still wanted to get this video because I had the time. And all I had with me was these that came with my Galaxy Note 8. They're AKG wired headphones, just a plain wire, okay? And I plugged that in and tested this little mic, talking into it, and was so blown away that every video you go and hear on that I did at the expo, every one of those product videos were shot with the phone, and this is the microphone. No joke, this was the microphone. So you can look at stuff you have right now and be able to do that. The app I edited with is called InShot, InShot. It's all one word. You can purchase it or free version. I did all the edits on the free version. So to get started, everything you can have in your hands right now and make it happen. Do I have that here somewhere? I don't know where it's at. I have a clip thing for the phone. I can maybe show a picture later. I don't even know where that's at. But basically, I have a tripod, and that's the thing I spent the most money on was a 6-foot tripod because I wanted the phone eye height on some of these. And it's a clip where I clip the phone in there and then film the video on that, and that becomes a very steady cam, and I can hold it back and use it as steady cam. But to start on that, you probably already have the equipment you need to do your videos. You can take it advanced and you can expand things. Like I bought a fake GoPro. So if you ever watch any of the shows where I run the multicam camera over the decks and showing the software, I do all three of that at the same time. That overhead camera that's over top of the decks, I paid $17 for on eBay and use it as, it basically works as a webcam that's over top. So I'm using open broadcast software, OBS, and it's free. So when I'm broadcasting from a $17 thing here. The camera that I have here is a good camera. It's the Logitech C120, I think it is, or whatever. There's two different numbers. I think it's the 120. You can pick those up for about $50 now. I love them because they have internal processors. So if you don't have a powerful computer, it does the compression inside the camera before it gets to your device. So I'm doing that thing back there with a couple of stands, a $50 camera, a $17 camera, and a free software, and doing my broadcasting multi-camera at the same time, all from that. So to get started at this, have something to say, be prepared, write a script, write bullet points, whatever it takes. Like tonight, the whole first half I talked tonight, I had bullet points so that I knew that I would hit them. So have distinct things you have to say, write a script if you have to write a script. Later on, if you want to buy programs, I edit here on the studio on Adobe Premiere Elements, which is the smaller version of Adobe Premiere, which is their high-end video editing stuff. But I picked that packet up for it was Adobe Premiere Elements and Adobe Photoshop Elements, which again is the smaller of both of those. It was a dual pack for under $100 on Amazon. And I do everything from that. So I don't have a lot invested in what I do, but like I said, 11,000 views off a video shot on my phone and recorded on a headphone microphone. If you're a little creative, you can do a lot. And that's where I think it goes a long way. So you may have it in your hands already. Maybe I'll do a show, because I know John did a show about equipment, and I have a friend of mine who does gaming videos, just did a whole article that got nationally, what do you call that? Sent out nationally, not distributed, but whatever, syndicated, because in the gaming world, he talked about the mics he used in the gaming world. And stuff like that can go a long way. So be creative and go through that. DJ talent interviews. John doesn't like DJ talent interviews. Sometimes. It all depends. You can be a fanboy to someone. I tune into stuff, weird stuff sometimes. Howie said Pro X sold most of the stuff they brought. They had a nice little setup, and they were busy. So you can always tell them. The same way with jetpacks. They were always busy. John talks about you won't get a lot of manufacturer notice until you get about 10,000 views on YouTube. Again, because this market, just like the DJ world, is heavily saturated. So there's everybody and their brothers doing it. Because it was funny to watch how many guys are walking around the Expo showroom floor with steady cams and tripods and stuff. Everybody's doing it. Everybody's doing it to expand. I watched a video, and I can't remember the DJ's name. I wish I would. I posted it a while back, so go down through my news feed and look at it. But he was the Malaysian DMC champ and took number 2 in the world at DMC, and talked about how he couldn't get a gig after that. He's like, how can I be number 1 in my country and number 2 in the world and not get a gig? And he started doing video stuff, and through the video stuff, showing how he did stuff, and some of it was just stuff about him and his buddies, where you got to see his personality. And he said that started his gigs, those things. So you would be surprised what stuff like this can do to expand you. But you have to work at it, and you have to be regular. You have to put out stuff on a regular basis. That's one of the biggest keys, is to be steady. Gig logs. John talks about gig logs. They're tough to film, because if you're filming a gig log while you're doing a gig, your head's split into 2 different directions sometimes. That's the tough part with those. Looking down through here. Yeah, editing work takes a long time. It's brutal. That's I think it's part of the reason why I decided to try it with the phone this year, because there was very little. I made sure I did every video in one shot, and I know when I did the video on the Newmark Scratch Mixer, I had to do it a couple times, just because I ended up doing it late in the week, and it's never good. Trust me, you get worn out. If you see pictures of me Monday to Thursday, it's like two different people, and I was getting speech impaired by the end of that week. So, yeah. Someone asking, what can we, and we're probably going to go over the hour just a little bit because I want to make sure I hit everybody's questions here. What can I expect first timer at the DJ Expo? Expect to be overwhelmed by so many freaking things to look at. It's going to blow your mind. Take a deep breath, slow yourself down, take your time, look at the equipment, look at the list of seminars if you're going there to see the seminars. Make a schedule of the seminars that you want to go to. And then every time you walk anywhere, give yourself extra time because you're going to stop every 10 minutes and talk to somebody. And that's just the way it is. Get yourself sleep, get yourself some caffeine, and don't forget to have a good time because we're DJs, and basically our job is to celebrate with people. And if we're not doing that, both in our job out in the world and when we're hanging out with the other, if we're not having a good time, why are we doing this? If we're just doing it for money, trust me, there's a lot of jobs I know that pay a lot more. I walked away from one that paid a lot of money in the corporate world. Trust me. This is a job that is sometimes not a job, and that's why I kind of look at it. There are days, trust me, there are days I go and do gigs where it's a paycheck. I'm showing up, doing a task, collecting a paycheck, but most of the time it's more than that. So the same way with the gigs, walking into the expo, don't necessarily run in there thinking I'm going to see all the new equipment or I'm going to learn everything from the seminars. You may go year after year, and each year get a totally different mindset coming out of it. So that would be my advice. First time you go there, take a breath, take a beat, take your time. You will get to suck everything in, but there's going to be a lot. Take pictures, take notes, take business cards, both giving and taking. It was funny because I would joke with people that my business card would come out of my left pocket, hand it to them. They would hand me their card would go in my right pocket. And there was a system. It was a silly little system, but that was my system. Ringing ears, it was loud. When I wasn't walking around, I had either these in my ears not plugged into anything, blocking the sound, or I had earplugs in, and pretty much anybody who spent any time on the showroom floor, you had to have them. I had my high-end earplugs in when I went to some of the shows, and it was just, you felt the pool party was just crazy loud. The sound system they have in that dome is just brutal. So always take good earplugs. Yeah, it's brutal. So yeah, John just talked about the Google, put on your Google Calendar, September 23rd, 10 p.m., which will be John and I be doing a thing together. And trust me, you don't want to miss this. I can't say anything more than that. And I know I always do this. And Jay was messing with me about, holding back on information. But I kind of want to respect the people who are telling us the information ahead of time so we have time to prepare videos and stuff. So I'm not going to say anything more about that. Let me go back to the other chat, see if there's any more. No more questions on the other side, so that's it. So we're at the top of the hour. We're a little past. You guys are freaking awesome for hanging out with me. Like I said, for those who missed the top of the hour that I was talking through, and I'll finish up with this, that this year's Expo changed my point of view about me in this DJ world. Because I have my life as a DJ here in the city and a little bit of the traveling that I get to do, because I don't get to travel like I used to when I was younger. I traveled all over, DJ'd in strange places like we talked earlier in Iowa, and just wherever people would hire me. I DJ'd at a New Year's Eve thing up near where John lives in Minnesota, New Year's Eve, and it was freaking cold, and I'm not used to winters that cold. We're cold here, but not like negative temperature cold, and I just didn't prepare for that. So I got to do a lot of traveling when I was younger, but there's that side of me. And then there's the side of me that does the videos and stuff and the teaching, if you almost want to call it teaching what I do, that I took a new perspective this year for me, where before it was just, I'm just talking to some DJs. That's all it was to me. I didn't really throw much into it. But now I'm seeing with some of the brands, no, I didn't call Iowa strange. I meant unusual places. Jim, please, sorry, Jim. I didn't mean strange as in strange, but I mean as in like the non-typical big cities. It wasn't Chicago. It wasn't New York. It wasn't Nashville, which I've done a lot of those. But it was small towns in Iowa that would have me come in, and small towns in South Dakota that would have me come in, and a place in Ohio or Maryland or wherever. So I didn't mean it strange that way, but I meant out of the norm of what I would expect me to get booked for. But like I said, back to the other thing before I close out here. I looked at it's more than me talking to DJs, that I think I have an audience now, which I never saw myself as being an influencer enough to have an audience. And now I'm going to try to present videos better in a way to an audience, just the same as someone on a national level would do on a national talk show. And hopefully that I'm able to then maybe get you guys information in a better way. Maybe hopefully taking that mindset, I will be able to get you better information and stuff like that. Like I said, because it's a new mindset for me looking at it as an audience. And for every single person that came up and talked to me, gave me a hug, shook my hand, waved to me, asked for a picture, I thank you, because like I said, to me, in my mind, I'm just some dude who spends, here in Pittsburgh. I've been doing it a long time. I've been doing it almost 32 years. But to walk into a place like that and have people walk up to me and want their picture with me is kind of almost humbling in a way. But like I said, I want to try to take the audience side of it and expand on it and kind of hopefully may make it grow for you guys too. So I definitely want to thank everybody for that. Again, not messing with Iowa. Trust me, Iowans have been very good to me, and they cook so good. That's all I want to say. The food was incredible there. But I'm just saying, as in, like, it was unusual for me to, I wouldn't expect goofy me to be in the Midwest. But they were kind. They were super kind. I was all over there. They were super kind. But thank you guys. We're going to close out on that. Tune in. John does have a whole lot more stuff coming up. I know in September he has a whole educational series running almost every single night. So if you're not on the Disc Jockey News or the DJNTV or the DJNTV Insiders, which is a separate thing, ask John about that. But if you're not on those, catching the schedules, if you're not on the email to get reminders of these things, because trust me, he has some big name presenters going to be talking over the next couple of weeks. Right after Labor Day, it all starts. We'll be able to explain a little bit more. But stay on those to see those videos that come up. Like I said, I've got some virtual stuff coming up that I'm going to be doing. I've got 2 videos, one on the Prime 4, one on this. A couple other things that I'm going to try to get my hands on and use if I can. But we have a lot coming at you, and I'm hoping you guys are enjoying this. As always, a lot of my ideas come from you guys, so do not hesitate to reach out, whether it be in the comments in the YouTube or on Facebook or sending me a message. Like I said, because I'm on all the social medias, every one of them, so you can hit me up on Instagram or Snapchat or Facebook or Twitter or I think I'm on Kick, but I don't know how often I have that app open, so you might not be able to get me on Kick. And that's for the old guys. Don't know what that is, do you? Oh, I got the old guys on that one. But again, thank you guys for tuning in. I don't know when the next Music and Mixing show will be back, but I will definitely let you all know, and maybe we'll do this more often. So until next time, as I always say, take care of yourselves. More importantly, take care of each other, because it is a crazy world out there. God bless.